Every day, millions of us wake up and the first thing we touch isn't our prayer mat. It's our phone. We scroll, we like, we share, but at what cost? Or is it becoming one of the greatest trials of our time? Social media is designed to keep you addicted. Endless scrolling, notifications, dopamine hits, these are not accidents.
Insiders say apps are designed to hook users.
There's a whole bunch of techniques that are deliberately used to keep the autoplay watching on video on YouTube, to keep you watching the next video, or streaks in Snapchat to keep kids hooked so they feel like they have to keep this streak going.
Addiction is actually the point. That's what social media shareholders are investing in. They are investing in the addiction of users.
The advice is mentioned in the Quran and the Sunnah. Ittaqullah, fear Allah Azza wa Jal. This thing that you're using, don't even for a second forget that Allah will question you about every page you open, about every glance you take, about everything you hear. Allah would hold you accountable for every single thing on the Day of Judgment. So imagine if you waste your time 5 hours, some 8 hours a day, watching Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, the whole nine yards, TikTok, then what happens? You waste so much time and you gain so many sins, and this is the easy part. What's worse is that you are darkening your heart. It's becoming dark, stiff, and hard. That's why you're not finding the taste and the sweetness of salat, of dua, of reading the Quran. That's why you're always depressed, always fed up and bored. That's why you look for new things and nothing seems to be helping except digging yourself and burying yourself under more and more browsing of such social media platforms. And this is a very negative sign, because lots of the Muslims who are drowned in such things soon would end up leaving the fold of Islam, unfortunately. So, just a reminder, Akhi, use the social media platforms as long as there is no sin, and don't put a limit to the time. But in return, whatever time you spend on it, spend equal time on reading the Quran or offering tahajjud prayers. You will find that, whoa, you gotta be kidding. How long do you open the Quran every day? Oh, Shaykh, I'm ashamed, wallahi, I don't know what to say. No, talk to me. Nobody's listening. Wallah, Shaykh, I open Quran only in Ramadan. Subhanallah, 11 months and you don't open the Quran, but you have the audacity to spend 2 hours a day on social media, and then you want Allah to respond to your dua and to give you provisions and a good job and a good spouse and to give you good health. Hello? There's something wrong up here. You have to rethink your life because it's going down the drain. So this is, inshallah, a quick advice.
Islam teaches moderation. Eat and drink, but do not be excessive. Indeed, he does not like those who commit excess. Quran 7:31. Replace eat and drink with scrolling, watching, liking. Excess in anything is harmful to the heart.
All about why social media is haram, even though I'm on social media. You know, honestly, this is a topic that it's interesting. Over the last 3-4 years, I've seen some unique topics. I've seen the fiqh of Facebook, the tafsir of Twitter, and all that stuff like that, right? Talking about the different ways of use of social media. I want to try to address it from a different aspect altogether tonight, inshallah ta'ala, to leave you guys with some meaningful advice. So hopefully there are things that you'll be able to remember and you'll be able to apply. And so I'm going to try to actually make it structured. Number one, when you're talking about the consumption of social media, when you're talking about the input, because there are two separate topics here. A person that constantly feels the need to check their Twitter, check their Facebook, go online, see what's going on, look up on other people's news feeds, and it's really creepy how obsessed we are with other people's lives. And subhanAllah, I remember one time I took a group of students on a retreat, and we went to a beach, and we had like this penthouse on the beach, and there was no one else in the building. SubhanAllah, it was off season. And it was one of the most beautiful things you could ever see. I mean, you wake up and you're just surrounded by this panoramic view of the Gulf of Mexico. And it's really one of those like subhanallah places, right? You guys here in the Northeast don't see much of that. All right, I'm not gonna diss you guys the way that Imam Suhaib did, but just that beautiful scenery, right? And so I was just observing what everyone would do. So we were like 20 guys laid out across this penthouse and just windows everywhere and the ocean everywhere. And I was just trying to see what everyone would do when they woke up. And what do you think everyone did as soon as they opened their eyes? Like before they could even fully open their eyes, they were like, they're looking at their phones. Like that's how they wake up for salah. Right away, just clicking, 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 clicking. I'm like, God, you guys don't realize the scenery that's around you. You don't realize the beauty that you're in right now because you're so busy looking up what other people are doing right now. And subhanAllah, that to me represents the disease of consumption. So I'm just going to talk about that. Consuming that material, consuming that constant news feed, consuming all of that stuff that's online, constantly bombarding yourself, bombarding your soul, bombarding your heart, your mind, polluting yourself with that stuff. And then there's the output part, there's the giving part, right? And subhanAllah, when they're both related to the same disease. First and foremost, and I want to look at it from a spiritual perspective. When you constantly feel the need to consume something, be it your social media, be it your TV. There are a lot of people that can't sleep unless their TVs are on, or unless they're playing something on YouTube. Like you're not able to sleep unless you've got your phone out in front of you, or you're on your laptop and you just pass out in front of your laptop, or whatever it is that you're doing. Whatever it may be, that in and of itself means that you're unable to be alone with yourself. And subhanAllah, I've had people say that to me before, and I get it. And it's a way that some people try to deal with trauma. And I'm guilty of it. When I went through one of the most traumatic periods of my life, I constantly had to have something playing in the background. I was like looking for the sounds of sleep and whatever it may be. I had to have something to distract me from myself. And that was very interesting, and it was because I saw myself guilty of it. And that's something that, in this day and age, we can't do without social media, to the extent that we would rather have it than have electricity. I want you to imagine this. If you had a choice right now for the power to go out or for your phones to go out and your social media to go out, would you rather the power go out and you could still tell the world about how much your life sucks because the power went out? Or would you rather have power and not have the internet and not have social media and not have any connection to the world? Right? Like we need that. Like you see people sitting in waiting rooms, at doctor's offices or at clinics, and they're waiting to be called in. And when you don't have signal on your phone, how crazy does it drive you? Right? Just, why isn't it coming up? Why isn't this working? And if your phone dies, it's like la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. It's like you have to be supervised at that point to make sure you don't do anything to hurt yourself, right? You start looking at the fishes inside the doctor's clinic and you're like, I didn't know those were there, right? But we just constantly need to be consuming something. And that's dangerous in and of itself for two reasons. Number one, the fact that you need to consume. Number two, what you're consuming. So you might not be guilty of the second one, but being guilty of the first one. The need to be busy with something other than Allah and yourself. Imam Hassan al-Basri rahimahullah says, one of the signs of spiritual abandonment is when you are just busy with everything that doesn't concern you, busy with everything but yourself, busy with everything but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, unable to be alone with your thoughts. And then secondly, obviously, what you're consuming. And you might just be passing over certain things, but it's all harming you. It's all getting to you in some way, shape, or form. It's all penetrating the soul, penetrating the mind, penetrating the heart, some way. And then comes the output. And subhanAllah, you constantly have these studies, which I think are flawed because they don't distinguish between people, about people that use social media more frequently being more likely to be depressed, for example. And there's some truth to that sometimes, because if you constantly feel the need to just, put things out there, trying to turn people's faces towards you, trying to gain the attention of everyone but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like you're just sitting there constantly tweeting, posting, right? Doing all the other stuff. In essence, it represents a greater disease that you're trying to get the attention of others. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran, فَابْتَغُوا وَجْهَ اللَّهِ. You know, seek Allah's sight. Don't seek the sight of people. Seek Allah's sight. Instead of trying to just put everything out there until someone catches on and it becomes popular and you become an instant sensation. Instead of doing that, try to spend some time seeking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's pleasure. And you know, I just tell people this, and I'm saying it to myself first. Do you know how amazing it feels to take 30 minutes out? Like not 30 minutes by yourself when you've got your phone on. And it's not necessarily if you're reading Quran, just 30 minutes away from it all. Half an hour sitting with yourself, you know, doing something that you have to do. Do you know how amazing that feels? And you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has tested us in many ways in this day and age. And obviously the fitnah that the Sahaba had, of persecution and things of that sort, we don't have that level of fitnah. We don't have that level of trial and tribulation. But when the Prophet ﷺ talks about a time coming that holding on to our faith would be like holding on to burning hot coals, the Prophet ﷺ is referring to the fitnah of temptation, desire. Why? Because when you used to have to do something haram, you used to have to go to the club or haram code. Right? All those stores that you guys see on the highways and stuff like that where you've got to go to get that material. Okay? You know, you used to have to go somewhere to get haram. You used to have to go somewhere to consume it. Now it's just here. Now you can pull up all kinds of stuff. Now you've got it on HBO and you've got it on your phone. You don't have to go anywhere. You can find it in your room. And the danger of that is that it tests your muraqabah, it tests your sense of observance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to an extreme, in a way that those that came before you didn't have to be tested. You are constantly under bombardment. And don't think that Allah doesn't notice when you ignore that.